Uno, two, tres, four.
Welcome, everyone, to our final event for issue 8 of Taludtod, which is our virtual events issue. For the next hour or so, we'll share with you readings by a dozen Filipino poets previously featured in our journal. My name is Nikay Paredes, and I'm one of the co-founding editors of Taludtod. I am a poet, born and raised in Cebu City, educated and schooled in Metro Manila, and now living in New York City, which is where I'm patching in from, and working currently in literary arts administration.
Hi, and I'm Paulo Tiausas. As Nikay said, we're the co-founding editors of TLDTD. I'm also a poet who writes primarily in Filipino, and I've spent majority of my career in writing, publishing, and teaching.
So thank you again for joining us wherever you are. Taludtod is a biannual journal for Filipino poets and poetry. We are the co-founding editors of the journal. We launched it, our inaugural issue of the journal, in August 2020, and since then, we've published new work by over 100 Filipino poets in various languages, including Bicol, Cebuano, English, Filipino, Hiligaynon, Ilocano, Itawis, and Waray. Taludtod is also a passion project shared between trusted collaborators and supporters. So if you may allow us to thank the following folks who have been so generous with us, lending us their time, their resources, and their support. We just want to give a shout out to J.A. Balaguer, Shif Belongel, Christian Sendon Cordero, Ena Escanyan, Glenn Charles Lopez, Adrian Medina Pregonier, Carla Kim Singh, Maureen Michelle T., Edgar Calabria Samar, Eric Tuban, Michael Carlo Villas, and Dapat Studio.
So, for today, our poets will be reading the poems that they published with us, spanning from our inaugural issue, which launched in August 2020, up to our seventh issue, which came out November last year. One of the things that we're really proud of with TLDTD is that we have poets writing in so many different Filipino languages, writing from all over Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao, and from various sites of the diaspora. Our poets are also in different stages of their writing journeys. You may not believe it, but some are still in high school, while others have decades of work under their pen. Let's begin with the first set of readers for today. Allow me to read their short bio notes. Si Agatha Buensalida ay isa sa mga aktibong kasapi ng lira. Naging fellow rin siya sa UST National Writers Workshop at sa Cavite Young Writers Online Workshop. Napabilang ang kanyang mga tula sa ilang publikasyon katulad ng antolohiyang Baga at Lila, antolohiya ng mga babaeng makata ng lira. Troy Cabida, with pronouns he, him, is the author of War Dove, published by Bad Betty in 2020. His work has appeared in State of Play, By Plus Lines, 100 Queer Poems, and Tiffany & Co. He works for the National Poetry Library and holds a BA in Psychosocial Studies from Birkbeck, University of London. He is originally from Las Piñas City, Metro Manila, now based in Earl's Court, London. Austere Rex Gamao is from Sagay City, Negros Occidental. His work has appeared in Cordite Poetry Review, Ilahas Literary Journal, Queer Southeast Asia, a literary journal of transgressive art, Tractions, Experiments in Art Writing, Transit, an online journal, Underblong, and Underwood Press. He has an MFA in creative writing from the De La Salle University. And for the final reader for our first set, Luisa A. Igloria is the author of numerous poetry collections and chapbooks, including Maps for Migrants and Ghosts, published by SIU Press in 2020, and Call Bearer, which is forthcoming in August this year from Black Lawrence Press. Originally from Baguio City, she makes her home in Norfolk, Virginia, where she teaches at Old Dominion University's MFA Creative Writing program and at the Muse Writers Center. She served as Poet Laureate of the Commonwealth of Virginia from 2020 to 2022. The Academy of American Poets awarded her a 2021 Poet Laureate Fellowship in April 2021.
Ako si Agatha Buensalida, kaninirahan sa Santa Maria, Bulacan, at ngayon ay babasahin ko ang aking tulang pinamagatang Ang Kulay ng Panibugho na inilathala sa unang issue ng TLDTD. Ang Kulay ng Panibugho. Pagkat tinatangay ng hangin ang ating tikas, nagiging mga alipato tayong nililisan ng ningas. Nalalaglag ang ating bait, nagkakalat sa sahig, sumisiksik sa mga siwang gaya ng mga abong tumatalsik mula sa pinipitik mong tabako umaumaga. Ngayong inuuban na ang iyong tuktok at isinusubsob ka na ng sariling balangkas, nangihiram ka ng mata sa aso, ng lalamunan. Nandidilim ang paningin mo at umaalulong ka sa bawat aninong makikita mo sa gabi. Hindi ko matuntun ang lalim ng buntong hininga ni Papa tuwing pilit mong binubuhat ang sarili upang humakot ng uling para sa iniihaw mong mga paratang. Saang balon ako sa salok ng tubig o magpapala ng buhangin upang isaboy sa naglulumiyab mong dibdib. Gayong wala nang kilalang pag-ibig ang natutupok at napupulbos mong puso. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Troy Cabida. I am a poet, I am a writer, and I'm a library assistant based in the UK, London, UK. And I originally am based in Las Piñas City, Metro Manila. So to everyone out there from Las Piñas City, kamusta? Kamusta kayo dyan? I'm very happy to have been asked to record this video of me reading this poem I'm about to read, because I'm very proud of this poem, and I'm very grateful to have been published by TLTD Journal, or Taluntod Journal as I've been told, because I think it's such an important space for Filipino poetry across the world, and I'm very honored to be one of those poets that have been published by them. So yeah, this poem that I'm going to read is called Grade 1. One day, the girl who had hair pointing outwards like horns growing out from behind her neck looked at me with eyes blank with youth and said she was proud of me. Sip orange juice. It was during break time when she tells the class huddling around us that I was no longer a gay boy. That sure, I was one yesterday, but today she sees none of that softness weighing down my shoulders, tingling her curiosity, nothing bent or fragrant standing out. Today she declared me void, and for that I'm worth a round of applause. Crumple juice box. Later in class, we stand to recite the letter P. I stand, get nipped at the ankle by classmates, not to say P as in pamaypay, as in pink, as in prim, but to say P as in pako, as in pain, as in power. Thank you. That poem was called Grade 1. It's about my experiences in Grade 1. Again, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be included in this journal, and I look forward to reading more work, and I encourage everyone who can to submit poems to this wonderful publication. Maraming salamat, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Hello, my name is Osrix P. Gamao. I'm from Sagay City, Negros Occidental. Currently, I live and work in Metro Manila. Today, I will be reading my poem to you. This is Window Gazing. Each plant blade bears an animal. All animals digested to sound return the mercy of water. The river next to the house does not acknowledge the spectacular corpse of the country. The accidental opening of. Knowing what a room looks like, the body pursues trespass. I am by my window, glass filled with shaking. No longer than any violence. Do you understand a factory when its workers fail as machinery? Anything can be a factory. A tree is a factory for breath. I am a factory for decay. Not prone or sitting, I am capable of remaining. Look at me. I see what color the outside is, and my little failure worsens. The crevices of the home, explored in quarantine, gives only humidity. The soft-bodied working from home electrifies the honeyed future. Horizon ruptures the present. What vision calls? Tyrants running everywhere. My God, don't they get tired of their magnetism? Frequency of pain. Tune in to the radio. Farmer shot for quota. Shampoo commercial. When I think future, I think of war sending out congratulatory emails, confirming the missiles have plummeted in stocks. Bunkers turned into kiosks. If I think future, the queer mind goes blank. The gay agenda posters litter the streets with profane misdemeanor. How's my head? When I think future, I think of COVID-19 like I think of the Titanic. A wreckage with a movie, a list of names, of language pouring into itself and drowning. If I think future, the center of all things decides on a direction of an animal instance. Each time the neighborhood loses power, we hear modern shrieking. Money is a gender expression. You are gay because your money doesn't open doors easily. Each time we lose power, the land caves. The roots of a building do not wither for centuries, even after the structure itself comes to ruin. Eating one of these systems grants diagrams of living, form fire as if it were cloth. My friends, we have many abandonments. I am ready to report on the egos of our crying killers. The rain takes on color, fattens the walls. I would do anything to be a chair for produce. I would do anything to be a basket for apologetic intrusions. I would do anything to be a room for patience. I would do anything to be a response to hate crimes. I would do anything to be a salt fence boundary. I would do anything to be confident on all fours, a vessel for tender future. The landscape moved in, leaving its old residents in human debris. Once and for all, maybe the familiar agony of the sky won't alert authorities to farm seeding discontent. We have undulated the foam to adapt to this new child growing green in the living room. Can the outside be too exuberant? No air celebrates this restriction. Feel the body as more perishable. I wonder if time works where we left it. They thought I couldn't build a house for what I've envisioned what is lost. What is lost, the momentary flood of hope in the horizon. Always seeking the body that withstands waves of resentment and fear. No cost to the present. I call my old and new friends and tell them the house is open. Thank you. Bye.
This is Luisa A. Igloria. I'm reading one of my two poems which appear in issue 7 of Taludtod. Phenomenology of Return. Don't we all wish to return, to discover how infinity reaches across the world in a shimmer of overlapping circles, unfazed by obstacle? It simply goes around each tree in the wood, spreads a filmy veil over every house, falling down shed, office building, and church. The sign above the 24-hour drugstore and pool hall. The alley where stray cats congregate, giving rise to rumors about the most delicious steamed meat buns in the noodle shop next door. In the story about a fish that grants a boon, the fisherman's wife knows that the sweetest meanings are always closest to the bone. She tells him to go back and ask a deeper question, which sadly he interprets as merely a demand for more. Here she is then, setting out to do the hard work herself, peeling back the body's outer cover, waterproofing the heart, re-rigging the wings. So much ceremony in order to arrive at the spot where the water gushes without measure, gives before one even thinks to ask.
Salamat, daghang salamat Agatha, Troy, Austere, and Luisa. It's really our honor and also our joy to share your work. Before I introduce our second set of readers, there will be a third and final set. I'd like to invite you all to also check out our first two virtual events as part of our journal's 8th issue. Last March 16th, we presented a virtual conversation with Taludtod contributors Jan Dennis Destajo, Janice Lobo Sapigao, and Lawrence Lacambra Ipil. We're going to share with you just a little 3-minute teaser. But again, I also invite you to watch the whole thing. This is a clip of Larry Ipil responding to a question that I asked about a core memory with poetry and giving yourself permission to write. So here's that clip. Let's go. Go.
Mine is a complicated memory of a memory, of course, right? I will not answer the question simply. One of the first poets that really made me want to write is a poet now based in Dumaguete. Her name is Myrna Peña Reyes. She used to live in the US, but then when she retired, she returned to Dumaguete. Her book is called River Singing Stone, and that book forms one of my core memories of poetry because it sort of gave me permission to write about parts of my life I thought were not worth putting on the page. When you grow up in Cebu or in many of the provinces of the Philippines where writing is something merely done by people in Manila or people in other countries, the encounter of someone writing about things that are very close to home is life-changing. And I think that book changed my life because it said you can write about the things that are happening around you. Myrna Peña Reyes' book gave me that permission, but I think the core memory of that core memory is maybe 15 years later when I am visiting Dumaguete. I meet her in person and I am scheduled to have dinner with her. But I meet up with a friend earlier that afternoon, and my friend on a whim, and he drives a motorbike, takes me to the nearest. He says he's taking me to a nice place, and I did not know he would take me to a waterfall. And the moment I see the waterfall, I mean, it's a scene out of an 80s movie, really. I jump out of the motorbike and then I go and jump into the water because, oh my gosh, a waterfall at 2 p.m. as a surprise. And then later on that evening, I find out that waterfall was the waterfall that River Singing Stone was writing about. I have dinner with Myrna Peña Reyes and my friend RV who drove the bike that evening. And in a way, that's the core memory, which is a memory 15 years after the real memory of starting to write poetry. And I, in a weird way, the permission comes from the waterfall is my poet's answer, Nix. That waterfall gives me permission to write.
Love that. Thank you for that convo, and also to Jan and Janice for joining us. We again asked that a couple months ago, and if you want to watch the whole post on our Facebook, and we're gonna soon to TLD. Okay, now we're gonna hear from poets. Let me read those real quick. First, Pauline Lacanilau's poems have appeared in a journal, the Journal of English Studies in Culture and Critica Cultura. She is an assistant professor of writing and literature at the University of the Philippines. Si Hana Adon ay guro ng malikhaing Philippine High School for the Arts, Los Baños. Isang spoken word professor sa Kiamba Sarangins. Ang kanyang mga sugilanon at nobela ng Jimmy Balak with Literary Award sa Tour of Normal Award at Prize. Ng Jonas, nobela sa wikang Cebuano na inilimbag ng KWM 22. Si Kabel Mishka Ligot ay kasalukuyang nananaliksik at nagtuturo sa Universidad ng Illinois. Ang kanyang mga tula sa wikang Ingles ay nilathala sa Cordite Review, Haan, Poetry, Rhino at iba pang mga literary journal. Nakatanggap si Mishka ng mga gantimpala at karangalan mula sa Poetry Foundation, Universidad ng Indiana sa Bloomington, Tin House Summer Workshop at Dalton School. Voltaire Q. Oizon teaches Waray language, literature, and social science courses at Leyte Normal University. His first poetry collection, An Maupay Ha Mga Waray, was published in 2008 by the Philippines National Commission for Culture and the Arts.
Hello, I'm Pauline Lacanelao Arnold. I live in Tacloban City, Leyte, and I will be reading Revelation, which can be read two ways. Let's read it from the right side first. Revel. An individual fails and the system becomes all. Gone are those who beg. The ousted take cover. Silence falls on the din. A sweet voice says, "Give me your ear." Or, "Let's display with pride this flag." Look how even the children glow. Feels like home. This kingdom wrought from iron. Citizens devoted to becoming just, willing to be kind, opening the gates for the late. Forgiveness, a triumph of man. At last, all have what all need, just enough blood for each organ. Pursuing for oneself a path from the individual's unending quest about who pushed the revolution into its rut. While those in power continue to see with attentiveness so total, the only trajectory of society is up. The crowd holds vigil, the law flaunts its wit, the individual wears a prominent X, and finally says to stasis, yes, the crisis reaching its zen. Now let's read both sides. Revelation. An individual fails and the system becomes allegory, and then that fails too. Gone are those who beget resistance. The ousted take covert action to reinstate themselves. Silence falls on the dinner bell of the populace. A sweet voice says, "Give me your earth," or "Let's display with pride this flagrant disregard of one another." Look how even the children glower at their guardians. Feels like homesickness, this kingdom wrought from irony. Citizens devoted to becoming justifiably mute, willing to be kindled for the smoke show, opening the gates for the latent hate mongers. Forgiveness, a triumph of manipulation. At last, all have what all needle with greed, just enough blood for each organization to turn a profit. Pursuing for oneself a pathological avoidance of truth. From the individual's unending question about who pushed the revolution into its ruthless optimism. While those in power continue to seek impunity with attentiveness so totalitarian, the only trajectory of society is upheaval. The crowd holds vigilance hostage. The law flaunts its withdrawal from truth. The individual wears a prominent xenograph of anger on love, and finally says to stasis, yesterday is dead. The crisis reaching its zenith.
Pagbati sa ngalan ng sining, ako po si Binibining Hana A. Lisenia, mula sa Timog ng Mindanao, sa Tambil, Kiamba, Sarangani Province. Ako po ay nag-aaral ng malikhaing pagsulat sa UP Diliman at kasalukuyang guro dito sa Tuktok na Makiling. Ngayon ibabasahin ko po kayo ng tula na nasa wikang Cebuano na may salin sa wikang Filipino. Ito po ay nailathala sa TLDTD noong 2022. Pinili ay 2022. Nangitaw biodata si nanay, og duha ka 2x2 picture. Aha daw mapalitang ingon ato. Nangutan ako kun ngano. Tubag niya, nangayo ko sa kahigala, baylo ang sinima ng kwarta. Ang kinahanglan lang mangitag lugar aron sabitan og nawong sa anak sa usa ka diktador. In Filipino, Halalan 2022. Naghahanap ng biodata si nanay at dalawang 2x2 picture. Saan daw may mabibiling ganoon? Tinanong ko siya kung para saan. Ang sabi hinihingi ng isang kaibigan, kapalit ay lingguhang sahod. Ang kailangan lang ay maghanap ng lugar para kabitan at sabitan ng mukha ng isang anak ng diktador. Mabuhay ang sining, mabuhay ang panitikan, mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
Magandang gabi mula sa Chicago, Illinois sa Estados Unidos. Ako si Kabel Mishkaligo, taga Quezon City at Pasig, at babasahin ko para sa inyo ang aking sali ng tula ng kaibigan kong si Aria Aber. Lamay sa Paris ni Aria Aber. Tumatagay ng Malbec ang mga tita dito, pinaparada ang kanilang pighati, mga masangsang at mahal na pabangong bumubulong sa mga elevator at pasilyo. Bawat natural na paglipas ay tumutukoy sa hindi natural. Bawat tita ay may anak na nahulog o anak na nakitago sa natumbang gusali ng 2 taon hanggang dumating ang katok ng mga opisyal, bitbit ang bag na may laman na bestida at labi. Pero ano naman ang alam ko doon? Nagpapapedicure ako, kumakain ng croissant habang nagbabasa ng Swansway. Noong sinabi ko sa isang tita na gusto kong bumalik, humiyaw siyang, wala kang karapatang gustuhin yon. O heto, pahiran mo ng keso, sabi naman ng isa. Hay, isang kababalaghan ang mabuhay at makita ang bakas ng paa ng aking tatay sa hardin ng kanyang kapatid. Galit niyang itinatabas ang mga Jacinto, sumasagot ng palagi kapag napapatawag ang mananaliksik at nagtatanong, gaano kadalas mong naiisip ng buhay mo ay isang pagkakamali? Sa prosesyon, nangangatal ang mga hiyaw ng mga tita, mga alambreng dinadapuan ng mga uwak sa mabugsong hangin. Ayaw na ayaw ko ang bawat pinagplanong minuto. Inimbento ng Diyos ang lahat mula sa pagkawala, ngunit nangingibabaw pa rin itong pagkawala, sulat ni Paul Valéry. Niminsan akong namighani sa Paris, pero noong tinanong ako ng isang estranghero kung mabaho ba sa Afghanistan, sobra akong nabigla na niyakap ko siya. At hinayaan niya ako, ang kanyang mga binti, pansamantalang sumasagi sa akin. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Second take. Sige, gala ko muna. Okay na? Sa Paris ni Aria Aber. Tumatagay ng Malbec ang mga tita dito, pinaparada ang kanilang pighati, mga masangsang at mahal na pabungong bumubulong sa mga elevator at pasilyo. Bawat natural na paglipas ay tumutukoy sa hindi natural. Bawat tita ay may anak na nahulog.
Maubay nga adlaw ka aton nga tanan. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Carmi Ortego mula sa Talalora, Samar. At ngayon po ay babasahin ko ang aking tulang pinamagatang Sapagkat Hindi Nga Sine ang Buhay.
Sapagkat hindi nga sine ang buhay. Wala namang papalakpak kung sabihin mong natapos mo nang tupiin sa wakas ang mga nilabhang ilang araw ng tuyo sa sampayan. Wala ring huni ang pagtutupi. ang marahang paglapag ng bawat suot, sa ibabaw ng isa pa'y isang tahimik na pagtatagpi. Ang bawat retaso, bawat yugto nito nag-iisang buhay mo. Halos napakadaling isuko sa kawalang kibo. Ngunit, sapagkat hindi nga sine ang buhay, at sa labas marahil ay tumatarak ang punyal sa balat, pumupunit sa ugat. Kaya mas kailangang patugtugin ang dramatikong soundtrack kahit na ang gagawin mo lang naman ay kumagat sa isa pang piraso ng tsokolate. Sa ngayon, hinahayaan mong magtagumpay ang buhay. Isa rin itong uri ng pagwawagi.
Damo nga salamat ang inyong pamati. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. Mabuhay ang Panitikang Pilipino.
Good morning. My name is Voltaire and I'm going to read my poem entitled Waray World, Kung Kikitaon Dinihini Nga Dapit. Waray World, kung kikitaon dinihini nga dapit. Adlaw, tuna, tao, lalaki, babayi, tatay, nanay, anak, balay, kinabuhi, karuyag, pag-istorya. Waray World, viewed from this side. Sun, earth, human, male, female, father, mother, children, home, life, desire. Tell me a story. Thank you.
Thank you for your poems, Pauline, Hannah, Mishka, and Voltaire. We're sorry for a bit of the technical hiccup earlier. As you can see, this is the first event for TLDTD that we're doing live as compared to the previous events that we had that were pre-recorded. So apologies for the small technical difficulties. For those who are wondering about Voltaire's poem, allow me to share his author's note. So these are in Voltaire's poem, these are the first 10 commonly used nouns in the Waray language corpus, according to corporaproject.org. Karuyag, which means desire or want, has the highest frequency in the database among the verbs, followed by pag-istorya, or to say something, or tell a story. So thank you again for their poems. At this point, we'd just like to greet the people in our comment section from wherever you're watching. If you're watching from Metro Manila or in the general Philippine area, we hope you're having a dry Sunday morning. Though it's pouring outside. And if you're in other parts of the world, we hope that the weather is slightly better. So before we share with you the final round of readings, like Nikai, let me share with you another clip from one of our earlier events. This time from our second virtual event, a lecture by the illustrious Professor Merly M. Aluna. TLDTD contributor and guest editor Adrian Medina Pregonier helped us introduce Ma'am Merly, and another editor to our journal, Michael Carlo Villas, helped us facilitate a question and answer with Ma'am Merly. This is another video that you'll definitely need to see in full. But if you need more convincing, here's an excerpt of Ma'am Merly's response to Mike's question on the topic of home. So here's the clip.
I don't have the luxury of that in all my life. So home is a fascination for me. But throughout these many years, I have come to accept one thing. The closest to home that we will ever have is language. Language describes all that you know about all the places that you have lived in and all the people that you love, people that you know, and all those who hate you and all those that you also hate back in return. All that you know, all that you may know of home is in language. Therefore, wherever you go, that language is your home. Even if you go to America, the language you carry with you, the old language, that will be your home. And to me, it's very important that Filipinos really read the literature written by their own people because then it deepens their sense of home. That's the importance of literature that I think our government educational system has not quite attended to. There is still a large emphasis on learning English and English literature and very, very scarce materials on our very own language, our very own literature. And when I talk about literature, I talk about the folk literature also, and the literature that are written by our own people in their own languages. We have to know that. That is home. That is how we learn to love the things that are dear to us and keep them alive in our minds wherever we go. So language, that is your final home. You bring it with you even to your death, I think.
So allow me to introduce our readers and forgive us. I'll start with Carmi's bio note, our poet earlier, since we missed reading her bio. So Carmi Ortego is the Homes Coordinator at National University at MOA Senior High School in Pasay City. Her poems and essays have been published in national and international publications, and in the book Creative Nonfiction, Crafting a Knowledge of Self, Others, and the World, published by Anvil in 2019. She was a part of the Philippine delegation for Bersong Euro Pinoy 2021, a program of the European Union delegation in the Philippines. John Dave Pacheco graduated from the Lagao National High School in General Santos City. At taga-Kaulo, his roots are in Malungon, Sarangani Province. He was a semi-finalist for the 3rd Lagulad Prize and a finalist for the Sulat Sox Poem Writing Competition, which led to the publication of his work in Cotabato Literary Journal. Currently, he is a peer educator, an HIV/AIDS advocate, and a member and officer of the Sarangani Writers League. Si Edgar Calabia Samar ay may akda ng mga premyadong nobela, kritisismo at aklat ng tula. Associate Professor siya sa Ateneo de Manila University at naging visiting professor sa Osaka University noong 2017 hanggang 2022. Maaari siyang sundan sa kanyang Twitter at Instagram sa @ECSummer at sa Patreon naman sa patreon.com/ECSummer. Kinikilala ang mga tula at sanaysay ni John Brixter Tino sa Gawad Maningning Niklat, Premyong Lira, Gawad Bienvenido Lumbera at Gawad Rene O. Villanueva. Naimbitahan na rin siyang magbasa ng kanyang mga tula at akademikong papel sa International Conference on Poetry Studies sa Birkbeck, University of London. Kasapi siya ng kolektibo Kalimbahin. Panghuli, Cindy A. Velasquez is a full professor at the University of San Carlos. She received a grant from the NCCA for Basabalak Hanunay, the poetry podcast she produces and hosts, which features Bisaya poets and their works. She recently finished an illustrated children's book collection that aims to preserve the ethno-medicinal practices and knowledges of the indigenous Ati community in Cebu. As a poet and lyricist, her awards include the Jimmy Y. Balakuit Award for Poetry in the Iligan National Writers Workshop, the Vicente Ranudo Literary Excellence Award of the Bathalan Ong Halad sa Dagang, Bathalad Sugbo, and the 43rd Gawad Urian Awards for Best Music.
Madyaw Anlaw, ako po si John Dave P. Pacheco at ako po ay kasalukuyang nakatira sa lungsod ng General Santos. Ang aking pinagmula naman po ay sa probinsya ng Malumon, Sarangani. At ngayon ay hayaan niyo po akong basahin ang aking tulang na ilimbag sa TLDTD o sa Taludtod noong issue 3 na pinamagatang Transistor. So sana po ay magustuhan niyo. Transistor, ang aking buhay, kanlungan sa kulungan. Ang tainga ko ay nakaniig sa labi ng radyo, nakikinig sa hindi nagtitipid na bunganga ng mga komentaristang naghahatid ng mga ulo ng balita sa sangmagdamagang takbo ng panahon, sariles ng mga kagilagilalas na pangyayari ng lungsod. Ngunit sa isang tao, ako lubos na humaling. Sa radyong ito na nagsasapelikula ng mga paslit na init at mga kirot ng guni-guni. Pinagmamasdan ang mga katawang lupa ko noon pa na bahagi ng pagbangon at iba pang mga naibulsang pagkamangha at paglaho sa pag-ibig, buhay, pakikibaka, landasin na walang hihigit, sasapat. Nang minsan ay hindi ko naiwasang kiligin at napaso ang dila sa bagong saing na mais dahil sa pagpapalitan ng matatamis na linya ng magkasintahan tuwing 1:30 sa sinusubaybayan kong drama, kasabay ang huntahan ng mga kundiman mula sa wayang ng paligid. Doon ay sinasayaw ako sa isipan ng magkayakap na asawang nadako sa Cotabato. Araw-araw kong pinagsisisihan ang pagpili ng unang pag-ibig kaysa pangarap na landasin. Sinuka ko lahat. Ito marahil ay tawag ng sariling silindro ng anino sa pagsusunog ng sariling balat sa balat ng kinahihindikang pag-ibig. Akala ko ay ganoon ang pag-ibig. Nyepe, ang magpapayakap ng dalawang nilalamig na puso ayon sa K-drama. Mali. Lamig ang gagawa ng siwang sa puso. Pag-ibig na tulad ng sanaysay na sinasalaysay ang mga danas sa pagsulat habang nandyan ang kalungkutang nakasubaybay kung paano mo isinusulat gamit ang kutsilyo ang mga kalungkutan sa iyong balat, tagos sa kaluluwa, walang hihigit, sasapat. Hindi ko tarok kung nakalaya ba ako sa sumpa sa ganitong tinatawag na pagtaho sa pag-iisang dibdib ko sa sundalo. Alam kong nagsusunog siya ng bangkay. Ngunit baka kaisa rin niya ako sa sumpa ng kanyang mga paa na nagsisilid ng kamay, ng mga nakikibaka sa hungkag na kahon at nagbubusal ng mga tambol ng paglaban. Akala ko ang pag-ibig sa isang alagad ay paghapon ng sarili sa katahimikan. Ganoon pala ang isang pagpapahirap ng sarili sa putok at himotok ng di mahagilap na panlilinlang. Mali ang akala ko. May wakas ang pag-ibig, hindi lang sa sarili, walang hihigit, sasapat. Hanggang dito na lamang. Maraming salamat sa pagbasa ng aking kwento. Lubos na gumagalang, Delia. Maraming salamat po at isang mapagpalayang buwan ng panitikan sa lahat.
Mapagpalayang araw sa inyong lahat. Ako si Edgar Calabia Samar, tubong San Pablo sa Laguna at nanirahan ng ilang taon sa Marikina at sa Osaka, Japan bilang visiting professor sa Osaka University. Sa kasalukuyan ay associate professor ako sa Ateneo de Manila University kung saan ako nagsisilbi bilang department chair ng Kagawaran ng Filipino at vice head din ng National Committee on Literary Arts ng NCCA. Babasahin ko sa inyo ang isa sa mga tulang nalathala sa Taludtod Journal. Ang pamagat nito ay Maliban sa Hangin Lamang. Maliban sa hangin lamang. Pinatatawad ang mga pagkukulang at kahinaan dahil sa kagandahan. Sabi mo, simula noon, sa lahat ng nakatalang kasaysayan at ang gayuma ng tagumpay, tulak ng pagnanasa sa pinakapusod ng dibdib. Kung gaano katindi, kahirap, mga karamdaman ng tao, pagdaramdam, kabuwangan gaya ng panahon ng galit ng mga bathala at Diyos. At anong husgado kung paano huhulihin ang talinghaga ng mga ninuno na natutulog, tinatangay ng agos patungo sa ilog na nililibot ang buong daigdig, kung saang yungib nakakubli ang pinakamarilag na bituin, ang dayang, ang mutya na nagpapakirot sa loob ng mga umiibig, pagninilay at tagulaylay sa mga bundok upang kausapin ang mga henerasyong darating. Ang lahat, ang tanan, piping tulad ng mga bato sa gubat, sa gilid ng bundok, sa dalampasigan. Kaya't hindi mauubusan ng kwento ang daigdig na ito. Patuloy na hindi mauunawaan ng tao ang isa't isa. Dahil iba ang buhay ng iba. Kasaysayan din ang pananakop na may ibang lupain, pagdakila sa mga ninuno, dahil ano ang mga sinauna, ang matatanda, kundi ang wala na, o mawawala na. At para saan ang wala na rito? Kailangang maghintay kung paano sinisila ng halimaw ang usa sa gubat, kung paano nagkakaisa ang hukbo ng mababangis na hayop, pagtitiis, pagmasid sa mabibilis tumakbong usa na maaaring mawalat maglaho sa gayuma ng pagkalikaw sa mga gubat. Ang panaginip ng baboy ramo na lumilipad, patawid sa dagat patayana. Nabubuhay tayo sa salita ng mga nauna sa atin. Halimbawa, nanganganak ng panganib ang panganib. Nauna, sa napaka-random na proseso ng kasaysayan, random na ramdam mong banyaga sa iyong dila. Bakit ngayon ako nabuhay? At kapag umaapaw ang tubig sa pampang, anong naiiwan sa ilog o sa dagat? Anong ugnayan ng mga nilalang sa mundo ang nagdidikta sa tadhana at kasaysayan na ganito ang dapat maganap? At bakit hindi ipakain sa mga baboy damo at halimaw ang katawan ng mga yumao, ang mga bangkay, gaya ng paglapa ng lobo o agila sa mga yumayao sa daigdig ng mga yelo? Bakit ako naririto?
Magandang araw. Ako si Brixter Tino. Kasalukuyan nag-aaral sa Polytechnic University of the Philippines sa kursong Literary and Cultural Studies. Babasahin ko ang tula kong Pakpak ng Balita. Pakpak ng Balita. Nahulog ang oras sa bangin, tulad ng saranggola kong puti. Hindi ko na muli pang mababawi. Umupo na lang ako sa gilid at nag-isip. Ang oras ay para sa pagmamasid o pagpikit. Ano bang dapat kong maging? Sabi ng magulang ko, abogado na kasal sa isang manager. Sabi ng bangin, wala kang mararating. Ngunit may mga sandali ring tahimik ang lahat. Hanggang isang araw, may mga pares ng pakpak ang bumungad at nagpalutang-lutang sa aking harap. Tanging mga pakpak at walang katawan. Maliliit, subalit humahangos sa liwanag. Ang pagsarikulay. Sigurado ako, hindi na ako patatahimikin ng kanilang pagkampay. Tila mulit-muli silang sumusuot sa aking kaliwang tainga upang tumakas din pagkaraan sa kabila. Matutulad ako sa saranggola, sa pag-ikot at pag-alagwa, sa paghahabol sa kanila patawid sa mga ibayo. At mas matatarik na bangin. Ganito ko malalanghap ang hininga ng araw at sa pagpapaimbulog sa alanganin.
Hello, my name is Cindy Arangas Velasquez and I am a writer from Cebu. Today I'm going to read a poem entitled The Self is a Resting Place. As you tell me about my younger brother's death, this house seems like a river mouth. The water course debouches into a sea. Then a boat is leaving to the other side of the earth. A child's last breath marks an unmappable seascape in your memory. How the morning mourns with the mother. Dismantle or burn the house in which her son died. 5 years ago, you narrated to me the story of the bones of your great-grandmother. How the skeleton was removed, given a ritual cleansing in the barrio, placed in a small chest, preserved, and carried along if the family decided to move in Cebu. And you tried to remember the childhood stories of your mother during the war. Then you cried, Mama, as if I saw all your great-grandmothers crying in front of me. I knew it was not about Lola. I did not know how to tame the currents within you. You were still remembering the tidal bore and the erosion in the riverbank when everyone was almost near the waves of the sea. The self is a resting place, an estuary where the water from the river meets the sea, reminding of arrivals and departures. In the old Visayan culture, when all the healing rites failed to revive the moribund, there was one last desperate ritual to call back the departed soul. A coconut shell of water was placed on the navel while chanting, Uli, uli, kalag. Come back, soul, come back. Mama, I imagine you with those lullabies instead of those chants. In the afterlife, a boat will arrive, filled with stories from the childhood of your grandmothers, sinking and slowly turning into reefs on the seafloor. Only the sea's humming and the mellow voice of my brother when he will call you Mama for the first time shall be heard. Your soul will always seek your womb. This world will own too many kinds of dying, but hopefully that will be kinder than the earth. This poem is dedicated to all the mothers and grandmothers. Most especially, this poem is a reminder of our limited time in this world, our mortality. Thank you very much for listening.
But we want to thank again our contributors from our previous issues who have contributed again for this 8th issue of ours. It's a really special experience to see these poems get a new life, beyond the page. And we're really, really just overwhelmed with gratitude and joy for them taking the time to contribute their videos. Pao, is there anything else that you want to share? Any favorite moments? But maybe you can also tell folks like why we decided to do this in the first place, since we've
Yeah.
usually just been a print web-based journal. Yes, is there anything else you want folks who are tuning in to know about our work?
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking of that while listening to the poems. It reminds me of when we started TLDTD already 4 years ago. Well, the preparation
Right,
took more than four
right,
years
right.
ago, but we
Mm-hmm.
start. So for those who are unaware, our first issue launched in August 2020. So you can imagine we planned it already at the beginning of 2020, and then of course the lockdown all around the world happened, and we maintained that we needed to push through. So I have very vivid memories of, for example, reading our first reader for today, Agatha, reading Agatha's poem during the first batch of submissions that we ever received. And that was just
Right.
amazing coming back to it now, hearing it again, hearing it live for the first time, and also seeing our poets actually reading their work. So, as you know, TLDTD has been primarily an online journal. We've been coordinating with our contributors, mostly corresponding through email, and we haven't really had much opportunity to talk with them like this. So that was kind of what
Mm-hmm.
the mindset was going into issue 8, that after 7 full issues of doing this, 7 full issues, which amounts to, I'm very proud to say this, more than 100 Filipino poets, we decided that it was time to not necessarily pivot, but to at least explore a different facet of being an online journal, of tapping into the
Mm-hmm.
poetry community. So that's why we had these events. We had the conversation with Larry, Janice, and Dennis, and we had the lecture by Ma'am Merly, introduced by Adrian, and then the Q&A by Mike, and now the readers. It kind of gives voice to poetry, aside from just being what we are, a website, an online journal. So I think that's been the most exciting
Mm-hmm.
part. It makes me feel so alive in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, no, I that all makes sense, and I agree with everything that you've said. I feel like I also want to take this opportunity to thank you, Pao, for being such a good friend and collaborator these 4 years. I mean, we were very clear on what we wanted to do. We wanted to put together a journal for poets who we've always known are out there and continuing to make work, even if platforms where folks can send in their work are just far too few, and aren't as enduring as we want them to be for many reasons beyond a lot of people's control. So yeah, I want to thank you also, Pao, for just being such a good and trusted partner in this ambitious, crazy thing we set out to do and launch at the start of a global pandemic. And here we are, 100 poets, kind of like richer. And I definitely want to see this through for as long as we can, and encourage folks as well to we can build things together, and people will come. So yeah, thank you, Pao, and thank you all for joining us. We from the bottom of our hearts, we are grateful for your support, and for believing in our mission to build and nurture a platform for Filipino poets and poetry. We also want to thank everyone who's made this dream project and collaboration a reality, and a special shout out to our technical director this evening, and for our previous 2 events, Glenn Charles Lopez. Thank you so much. And yeah, this is it. This concludes our series of virtual events for issue 8 of the Taludtod Journal. We'll be back soon on your social media channels to receive your contributions for issues 9, 10, 11, and beyond. We really look forward to reading and sharing your poems then. So goodbye, good night, good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon, and take care. Ingat, amping.
Bye, everyone.
La 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 la